Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa and welcome back to OverAnalyzed. This is, of course, our awesome Overwatch coaching series. If you would like to send a video in for consideration to appear on this series, follow the instructions that have been on the screen. So, today, we're going to take a look at a 2,600 rated LUCIO player. This is slap bang in the middle of the ladder. This should be a beautiful video because LUCIO is a ridiculously good hero. But a lot of LUCIO players don't really know what they're doing. So, no offense to this player in question, but if he's 2,600 rated, there are a lot of problems we can probably correct in this video. Now, main LUCIO problems. LUCIO amps when he shouldn't amp. That is a very bad thing to do. Because the only time LUCIO is capable of, well, healing the team is when he's got amp available, or rapidly engaging or disengaging is when he's got amp available. However, there is a couple of points which I'm going to make throughout this video which are going to be, hopefully, quite eye-opening. So, let's focus on this player in question. We don't actually know what the team is just yet because I've been too busy talking. It looks kind of okay. It looks like we've got a pretty serviceable team, so I won't worry too much about the team comp. However, what I'm noticing straight away is you're like this all over the screen. Like this. Your mouse is too sensitive. It's either your in-game sensitivity or DPI is too high. Now, you can play the game at ridiculously high sensitivities, and that's fine. However, one dead giveaway that the mouse is too sensitive is your movements are like this all over the screen. They're not smooth, right? If your movements are smooth and you've got a high sense, that's fine, right? That's going to work for you. But if it's very jittery like yours is, it's going to be very hard for you to find targets like then, just on that tracer. You sort of skipped around and, you know, didn't really get well, a bead on her, so to say. Now, the thing with having a good sensitivity, it means you're going to be able to do more damage. And LUCIO is actually really good at 1v1s against quite a lot of characters. He's very hard to kill, LUCIO. This is like a major benefit LUCIO has when compared to the other supports, especially in like a 1v1 scenario. Maybe only Ana can probably kind of keep up with him when she's got a nade available. Anyway, let's talk about what you're doing here. So the first thing that you're doing, which is good, is you're staying with the team. This is great. Now, obviously, LUCIO has an area of effect around him. You can see that from the graphical representation on the screen. So you know where you should be, and you know you should be with your team and helping them do stuff, which you are doing. So you meet the criteria for a basic LUCIO player. You stay with the team. You are generally healing and whatnot, and that's great. However, let's just talk about what you just did there. You used amp to heal Roadhog up. There was no threat. You could have just sat there with your normal heal up, and that would have healed him effectively, and you would have had amp available right now. So if they pushed in, you could have amped, but it doesn't matter. They took a lot of time to come back, so you've still got amp available. What we do have now, though, is Sound Barrier. This is where it's going to get interesting, because Sound Barrier is a ridiculously good ultimate when it's used correctly. And there are two ways of using Sound Barrier. Use it to engage, or use it as a defensive ultimate. I mean, it is inherently a defensive ultimate, and it can cancel out a lot of ultimates. So if Soldier's using his tac visor, we're going to need to be... I've just heard Blade. Yeah, good. So you heard the Blade audio cue and popped your Sound Barrier. There's not really much more I could ask, to be honest. That's a great use of Sound Barrier. You don't have a Zen on your team. If you did, it would be Zen's job to basically counter the Blade, because he does a better job of it than LUCIO does, for example. Also, I just want to quickly touch on that as well. When you have Zen on your team, you and Zen have got the best defensive ultimates in the game. Never use them at the same time. You have to communicate with the Zen player. You have to either say, Zen, I will Sound Barrier first, or Zen, you will Transcendence first. It's essential you do that, because if you use both ultimates at the same time, that's going to be really, really bad. So, what we've seen in that there, I mean, I've not paused any of that going on there, because it was generally typical LUCIO play. Like, that to me is the kind of LUCIO play pretty much anybody should be capable of doing. You know, you're just wall riding, you're amping, you're with the team, you Sound Barriered when we heard Dragon Blade, you know, and that's great. So the question is, why are we at this level? What things can we do which will just make us a straight up better LUCIO player? Well, LUCIO needs to communicate to the team. LUCIO is probably the only hero that, through not using the microphone, will horrendously suffer, because you need to be telling your team when you're going to engage. Like, guys, we're going in. Now, there are a couple of ways you can do this. You can use speed, so you can use your amp to speed in. However, right, I think I pretty much at this point prefer LUCIOs to just walk in with speed, not actually using the amp, and then swap to heal and amp the heal in the fight. That is much more effective than just going in with an amp speed, because yeah, you're going to move quick, but you still move quick anyway, just with the speed up. So let's just take a look now at how you're using your heal and your speed song. So you see again, like we amp there, and we don't need to amp. You have to think to yourself, when do I need to amp? Is this the right time to amp? Because as you go up the ladder, you will find yourself without amp at times when you need it. So your team's taking a lot of damage, you need to use the amp, but you can't. Alright, so... Like, I mean, like, honestly, this isn't bad Lucio play. Like, we just need to look at refining some bits and pieces. Like, the first thing you need to do is, honestly, fix this accuracy. Because it's like all over the screen and it's not great. I think you probably benefit from doing some... in fact, I would play Deathmatch, maybe, on the PTR now. That is by far the best way to train up your accuracy, is to just play Deathmatch. Don't bother with, like, Anabots. Don't bother with the training range. Just go straight into Deathmatch and play... Well, play a bit of Lucio, but I think you could probably reduce your sensitivity a little bit. Alright, so let's check out what we're doing, because, like, honestly, you're not too bad, right? You're not, like, a terrible player. You're not an amazing player, because I think you make some, like, pretty mad decisions. Like, that there was a mad decision. Why are we amping up with speed when they're standing on top of us? Like, we didn't really need to amp anything there. We could have just basically sat with the team behind the Reinhardt barrier, and if they push hard, then we could amp. See, we don't have amp available at all. And our Reinhardt's dead. I'm going to pause this here because that actually is quite bad. So let's just pause this here. So we lost our Reinhardt. And the reason for that is we didn't have amp available. We do now, granted, because I've paused it a little bit later than I wanted to. But if we'd had this available here, we could have maybe kept the Reinhardt. I'm not saying it would have kept him up because it's not like the best heal in the game. But it is still a burst heal. And through us not having it available, it's going to cost us. And as you go up through the ranks, it's going to cost you more and more and more and more. Now, the other thing with Lucio is he's pretty good at contesting points to keep them. Like, we've lost the fight here, and you're doing the kind of the right thing, right? You're trying to wall ride. You're trying to be a nuisance to stay on the point, because that's going to cause, well, your team to get more capture percent, and you've got 58%. Now, Oasis is notorious among all of the King of the Hill maps for being absolutely terrible to flip points on. So generally, when you've got a point, it's pretty hard to take it back. So if you are losing a fight, it is totally worth it to try and keep that point under contention for as long as possible. And Lucio is one of the best characters for doing that. Alright, so let's take a look at what's happening here. We've lost our Roadhog, which isn't great. We're sitting in the team with speed on. Like, we don't need speed, do we? Think about, like, you're swapping and swapping and swapping. You're swapping too much between the songs, right? And I'm not sure why we're doing this. Probably been watching too much DSP Stanky and like, oh yeah, I'm going to speed, then I'm going to like heal and whatever. It's almost like you're overcomplicating this. You would have been able to give the team more longevity there if you just literally stayed on heal and just sort of just stayed with the team instead of heal song, speed song, heal song, speed, speed, heal, speed, speed. It's not effective because your team don't really need to go anywhere there. Or do they? This is the other thing. They did need to go somewhere, didn't they? I keep clicking my fingers, but yeah, they did. Because you should have been saying to them, guys were going in. And then if you really wanted to speed in, then you could have done it. But like I said, I wouldn't amp speed in because it's kind of pointless. Right, let's just take a look at this. Why are we sound barriering? I think we're getting... Basically, we're getting annoyed now. We're getting anxious. So we're going to sound barrier just to get ourselves in. We've got High Noon coming up. We're trying to be cheeky with an emote. See, like, your wall riding is really good. Like, and this is part of Lucio. Like, one thing that annoys me with Lucio players that don't wall ride is they're not using, like, half of Lucio's kit. This is what keeps Lucio alive, right? It's very difficult to hit when he's up in the air. But look what's happening in this fight. All of this has gone down, right? But they still have control of the point. We've blew our sound barrier. Some other ultimates we used, I think we used Pulse Bomb, but yeah, they used Transcendence. So it's kind of like back and forth, but nothing really happened. There wasn't really a decisive fight. These types of bitty engagements where we lose somebody, they lose somebody, then we lose somebody else, they kind of work in favour of the enemy team. Looks like we're managing to get a couple of kills in now, which is pretty good, although we are, again, suffering some pretty bad losses. But you are kind of doing what you should be doing here right now. You are just dancing around the point. You've got speed on for too long, really. We should heal more. We should, like, really be healing more when it's a massive fight. Like, it's almost like... I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to be really cute and use speed to, like, boost yourself when you're wall riding and all of that good stuff. And it's fine, and it looks like your Pharah's gone pretty big and just killed everyone. But it's fine to do that because it's going to make you more durable. But is it going to make your team more durable? Like, a lot of the time when the fight is breaking out, it's probably better to have heal on. Like, think of it this way. Heal when you're involved in a pitch battle. Like, so it's just two teams attacking each other, like, on the point. Heal. If you want to get onto the point fast, then yes, maybe use speed. If you need to retreat, then use speed. Or if you need to escape an ultimate, like a Diva Bomb or anything like that, you need to be on speed straight away, and you need to basically get the hell out of there. And honestly, from your play, I think that's going to be something that you're going to be able to do, or you just will do, because you did counter the Genji Blade extremely fast, which was awesome. This sound barrier here is actually not too bad, but there's no voice comms, right? Just sound barriering and just be like, oh yeah, I hope the team go in. They did. because the team know that, yes, at this level, oh, a sound barrier means I'm not going to die, basically. So I'm just going to rush in. And they did do that. But you've got to stay on the mic. You've got to warn them before you do it, because it's more so than just using the sound barrier and then expecting them to go in. They may have other ultimates available. So we had a Genji on our team. Beat Blade is a fantastic combo. So you beat, Genji goes in with his Blade. He's just going to chop people. Finally get a bit of voice comms out of the team, but he's going to chop people to pieces. They're not going to be able to kill him. It's a great ultimate combo. Of course, we know they've got a Zenyatta, so if he's got his Transcendence available, then he's going to counter the Genji Blade, so we need to start tracking ultimates. But this is something which will come in time. Like, as you become a better Lucio player, like, what you need to work on now is using your songs when you need to use them, right? And communicate with the team more, just on a basic level, and work on your accuracy. I'm trying to listen to what these guys are saying. Anyway, but beyond that, the next level of Lucio player... Why are they saying that? I can't hear what they're saying, but anyway, the next level of Lucio player will then start tracking enemy ultimates and will start coming up with very basic plans for attack. So he will say, like, we've got a Zarya here and Tracer. Like, you could say, Zarya, when you've got your grav up, let Tracer know, or tell Tracer before your grav's about to go up. So if Tracer's got her bomb, Tracer can combo with the Zarya and kill the whole team, right? Things like that. That's sort of like the next level of Lucio play. Is that guy screaming and shouting? I don't know what the hell is going on. Yeah, oh dear. Ooh, lucky. See, like, we're spamming, like, speed, and we're boosting, and we're doing all kinds of stuff. I know it's great to go fast as Lucio, but you are literally not doing anything with the team there, just speeding and running away there. You should be healing the team, because the team have just been ripped apart, which is probably because their Lucio wasn't with them healing them. Like, you've got a pharmacy combo, so they're just going to be kind of doing their thing, and it's kind of down to you to heal everybody else. So it is a bit of a big ask for the Lucio player. Like, what we should be saying now is, Lucio, is, guys, regroup. Regroup, guys, regroup. Because we can't take this point. Like, there is an argument for, yeah, maybe you could try and contest it, but it's not worth it there when everybody's been killed on the point and your whole team, like your Reinhardt, just charged into literally 6 of them. That's going to be a problem for him. He did the right thing there, though. He speeded out of the fight, which is exactly what you need to be doing, right? When in danger, or when you need to retreat, obviously use speed. Okay, let's see where this goes. See, I'm not going to pause it, but I'm just going to draw over the screen in anger. That's a waste of amp. We amped speed and did nothing. Like, why are we amping the speed? Just use normal speed. Why? Like, this is what I want you to do. Write this down right now. Do not amp speed to engage a fight. Just walk in with speed. Amp the heal when you're in the fight. You'll be surprised how effective this will be. Only speed amp if you need to retreat. So retreat in I-class as there's a diva bomb on the point. We need to get the hell out of there. Or there is, like, everybody's dead and we've just got to run away, right? That's when you should be speeding. Or we're just trying to keep the point contested and we're the only, like, person left. So speeding around as Lucio, you know, you're more difficult to hit than just walking around wall riding with heal on, etc, etc, etc. So, oh god, apologies. Sound barrier, ladies and gentlemen, is something you have used pretty good. Like, the only thing I'd say you need to do more with sound barrier is basically say to the team when you're about to use it, like, guys, I'm going to beat, guys, I'm going to drop the beat, and you do that, and you'll be surprised what the team will do, right? You either say, guys, I'm going to beat, let's go aggressive, guys, I'm going to beat, let's back off. All of the best Lucio players will do this. Alright, so we don't need to use our beat here. You might be tempted to use it. The team just need to back off. So speed was the right option there. Now we're beating on point. So, I said we don't need to beat there. The reason why I said that is because we would get no value from the beat. And what actually did the beat do there? It did nothing. Because I don't think they were actually attacking you at the time. We beat it and they sort of waited for it. So, we've wasted our beat there. But, because this is Oasis, it isn't too bad, right? It's kind of scared them off. Did give you a little bit of extra durability. So, it has kept the point under contention. And we're now on 79%. So, at this point, we only really need to win one fight. We're going to lose this fight. If we can keep this contested now up to 99, that would be an awesome result. I mean, this is really good play here. You're keeping yourself alive. You're a massive nuisance. They've got to kill you. And if we get that to 99%, then that's just going to be awesome. Yeah, this here is... yeah, I mean, that actually was really good. I'd be really careful with McCree. He's one of the guys who will wreck you as a Lucio. But, of course, he flashbanged you and missed the headshots or whatever. That was awesome. That there was awesome Lucio play because you kept that point alive there. That was you that did that. Now we're at 99%. So investing the sound barrier now wasn't that bad of a thing to do. The reason why I said didn't do it, because I probably would have done it in the fight, but a little bit later when they actually hard engaged onto us. That was awesome, though. So what we're looking to do now is regroup and take the fight back. But what we need to know to be able to do this is to check the ultimates. Look at all the ultimates we've got. You just press tab there. There is a shed load of ultimates. I don't know whether Tracer had her bomb, but if she did, that is a combo that needs to... In fact, a Reinhardt Earth Shatter and a Zarya grab will just be absolutely world-ending for the enemy team. Like, it will just kill them. And that's all we need to do is basically win one fight here. Ooh, that was kind of bad. Okay, so the reason why that was bad, we got ourselves into a pretty stupid position where we're very open. Even though we're wall climbing, we're sort of out in the open and it's not great. Now, this is where I'm going to start to worry because we need to... Well, like, we cannot afford to die here. In fact, we've pretty much just lost this point now because we've suffered heavy losses there and there is no way these guys are going to be able to get back. So, that is unfortunate. And you could actually say... Apparently, I can't get rid of that. Whiteboard thing. Oh my god, what have I done? It's like I've broke it. Oh god. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, you could not afford to die there. You knew it was the last fight, so you had to play it safe. Instead, we started wall riding in front of the enemy team and basically painted a massive target on our head because, well, we were just out in the open and they're all looking at us. That was not clever. So you shouldn't have died there. All right, this is where things are going weird. And I don't like this. This happens all the goddamn time. Now we've got an Orisa. We didn't need to change the team. I mean, if you watch the video I put out last week where I just put some of my, like, solo ladder play up, there is no need to change the team when we are winning. There is absolutely no need to change the team. Like, if you change the team when you're winning, it's very weird. Like, that wasn't like, oh my god, they wrecked us. That was just a really close game. And there was no need to change the... I think Reinhardt's changed to Orisa. So we'll see how this works out. But, yeah. Don't go to, like quick sort of panic changes just because you've lost the point. Okay, so this is actually working out quite well. Yeah, we sort of speeded in again and stuff. Like, just don't speed in. I'm just going to recap again. Like, I'm not going to do this at the end of the video. I've done this consistently throughout the video. I think this is a better way of doing it. But do not speed in to engage, right? Just use normal speed. When you're in the fight, switch to heal and amp the heal if you need to, because that's how you will heal people. Try and communicate with your team more and work on your accuracy because you should be doing more damage as Lucio. I mean, you're doing okay, like with spamming chokes and stuff. I mean, you're a very slippery Lucio to kill, which is good because that's always going to be annoying. And like we've seen on the last point on University, you kept that point going till 99%. That was totally off your play, and that is really good stuff. All right, so we're totally losing this fight. So what we've got to think now is, look, we've lost most of the team. I just want to stay alive on the point as long as possible. So get heal song on, yeah. Heal yourself up, be a nuisance. This is actually a really nice point to just jump around, to do all kinds of stuff. All right, that wasn't okay. That was okay, sorry. Maybe could have been a little bit better with maybe a little bit more healing at times, just to keep yourself a little bit higher, then swap back onto the speed, just to, you know, just to keep the point going longer. But we got 34% off the first attack. That's okay. Like, it's not a disaster, that's okay. But can you see, like, how communication would help a hell of a lot here? Like, you could be saying, guys, just wait for me to come back. I'm dead, guys. Like, we've just lost Genji. Just wait, guys. Because you need to attack this point with everybody. But we need to attack it. Well, why are we speeding? Like, why would we amp speeding there? And why were we amping anyway? Like, we amp and there isn't... Uh-oh, Jesus. There isn't... That was a nice boot. I thought Orisa pulled him back in then with a mini grab. That would have been quite bad. That was a waste of the amp, right? We amp in for healing, and there's no healing that needs to be done. It's strange. Like, don't do that. Like, a lot of Lucio players do this. You will be a master level Lucio player, I guarantee, if you do not waste your amp. You have the movement to do this. Your accuracy is not the best, but in time it can be worked on. You drop the beat there, you know, that's okay. You could argue it'd be better now because we're in graph, but like it was okay, right? It was okay. I don't think it was a totally bad grab. But it would be nice if you told the team when you were going to do it. Like, of course, they're using a lot of ultimates here. And, like, you need to be aware of what you need to save your ultimate for. So, obviously, we want to save it for Tac Visor. We want to save it for Genji Blade. Like, we used it for Genji Blade, but I don't think they've got a Genji anymore. But, yeah, we probably would like to save it for Tac Visor or save it for when we get put into a grab. Because when we look at the enemy team, we can see there they don't actually have anybody to follow up with a grab. So, they don't have, like, a pulse bomb to just suddenly wipe out the sound barrier and then you take a load of damage. So, if you do get grabbed, dropping the sound barrier would be a very good move to do. And this is, again, like just going into being a more intelligent Lucio player, because Lucio is a very intelligent hero to play. Like, yeah, loads of people can just run around wall riding and doing whatever, but it's about when to use amp, it's about when to use sound barrier, it's about telling your team you're going to use abilities. Guys, I'm going to speed in. Guys, I'm going to amp heal. Come to me for heals, guys. And once you do that, you can honestly get to it. I mean, you can, the sky's the limit. Like Lucio, like a lot of people are under a misconception where they think certain heroes can't carry in this game, but literally every hero can carry if you play that hero intelligently. But Lucio is a hero that does depend on a fair amount of communication, and if you're not willing to communicate with the team, there is only going to be a certain level you're going to hit with Lucio, unless you're like an ungodly Lucio player who can just literally do anything and doesn't really need to communicate. Alright, unlucky, that was a mistake of basically not getting out of the way. We sort of got caught on the wall, which, you know, happens, it's fine. We've got sound barrier available. Okay, so we just heard them drop the beat, so what we'd be looking to do here is rush into the point and drop the beat, provided we don't lose anybody else. And now it's not worth it. It is now. Now it is, yeah. That was really good. So as soon as the res popped in, you did it. Come with the sound barrier. So this should be a game-winning move, because the support ultimates were used wonderfully. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. Oh man, this is very close now. Okay, so that. When I said that's a game-winning ultimate, what I'm saying there is that was the right time to use it, and I thought that would be great. Unluckily, Soldier walks in, but it looks like Farah's just killed everyone. So yeah, that could have gone either way there. Farah pulled out a clutch ultimate, but their Soldier also pulled out a clutch tac visor. Just came up at the same time. Like, I doubt that Soldier was planning that. He basically just ran around the corner and had his ultimate available and popped it, and then just started hosing people down. But it was the right thing to do, to use your sound barrier there, just to keep everybody up. I mean, you could say, oh yeah, you could have waited a little bit and all of that stuff, but whatever. I would have sound barriered there 100%. Let's see if you bring up the score screen again. I'll give you a few seconds. I always get paranoid in case the end of the video is just ends. It'd be terrible. Range from above. Alright. Okay. So, like I've said throughout this video, I've gave you a lot of tips on what you should be doing. You are a good Lucio player. There's no reason why you can't get into Diamond and then get into Master. The only reason you're not there is because you waste your amp and you don't really talk to the team. Your sound barriers are pretty much on point. Your point congestion is pretty much on point as well. You do keep alive for a long time, but just try and not spam amp when you don't need to do it. Think, I'm going to speed the team in, but don't speed with amp. Just walk in. When you're in the fight, that's when you can speed with amp, heal with amp. Yeah, alright guys, I think this has been actually a very good overanalyzed. There's been a lot of information in this, and hopefully this is very helpful. So guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And yeah, I've been Stylosa, this is Unit Lost. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and I will catch you on the next one, guys. Toodaloo.